We're now going to move away from your own playing, and we've got a few pieces of pianists playing music that you really like.
Yes.
We're going to do a little bit more Chopin, and we're going to start with Ignaz Friedman,
Yeah.
who died in 1948. And we're going to play the mazurka, again, we're going to stay with Chopin a bit longer, the mazurka in A minor, Opus 68, number 2. What's so special about this?
Mazurka are the most difficult pieces by Chopin, because it's a very intimate combination between the dance that was a farmer's dance in Poland 200 years ago, beautiful songs, but very basic dance, and this combination was with the feeling that Chopin had all the life towards Poland. We don't have to forget that he spent half of his life from when he was 18 in Paris, so he was always far from Poland, and these memories of these dances and the elegance way how he wrote music, this combination is creating the mazurkas.
That was the mazurka in A minor, Opus 68, number 2, played by the great Polish pianist Ignaz Friedman. And although there was a degree of snap, crackle and pop on it, that recording was made in 1930, so it sounded jolly good.
A beautiful interpretation. In mazurkas, I told before that we have this combination between dance and beauty of Chopin writing, but it's important to understand which dance, because basically we have 3 different dances: mazur or mazurek, from which the mazurka takes its name, that is the typical dance of farmers; oberek, that is very fast; and kujawiak, that is instead very calm and melancholic. And every pianist should really understand which one. Sometimes it's a combination of 1 or 2 or 3 of these dances in one mazurkas. And actually that pianists like Concerto, Friedman, Chopin are really the best expression of this kind of pieces.
It's fascinating because sometimes one sort of looks down on the mazurkas as being little pieces and just dances, so it's very interesting what you say. This is Classical Meridian on 107 Meridian FM, your radio, your station, broadcasting to East Grinstead and the surrounding villages. St. John Brown here with my guest, international concert pianist Adolfo Barabino. In just a minute we're going to hear one more mazurka. It will be the mazurka in C sharp, Opus 63, number 3.
Your radio station for Newchapel, Lingfield, Dormansland and Felbridge. It's got to be Meridian FM.
Was Ignaz Friedman playing the mazurka in C sharp, Opus 63, number 3. I've said that I will give you information about how to get hold of Adolfo, and also I'll give you more information about Claudio Records. If you wish to buy CDs of Adolfo playing the Chopin Nocturnes, I'll do that. So get a pencil and paper ready. I'll give you all that information after the next piece, which will last about nearly 9 minutes. We're now going to play the second movement from the second Chopin Piano Concerto, and you've chosen another great pianist with a fantastic reputation in Chopin, which is Alfred Cortot.
Yeah, Alfred Cortot, for me it's really inspiring. Especially I would like to point the attention of people when he plays in Italian is volatina. That means this big group of notes, and in this second movement you can find also 40 notes just against the 4 of the left hand. I remember this piece. I got the opportunity to play with the London Philharmonic. It was a magic moment because it's a wonderful orchestra, of course, and they were waiting for me until the end of this group of notes so well. And but Cortot can give a special expression. It's really magic. Never Chopin was a composer who expressed it showing off. And Cortot could play this volatina exactly very fast, very impressively, but the music come before.
I have a leading question here. Do you know what piano he's playing on?
No, I don't know, because
I have an email from a friend of mine who is kind enough to listen to my programs many weeks running, Adrian Steger, who says, St. fascinating program. What is it that is so attractive about a Steinway? Is it the piano alone, or does it have an empathy for Chopin?
This is really... I don't know.
No, I know it's a wonderful question, that, because I suspect it comes down to the artist, because there are sometimes when you go to a concert and you think that the piano that the pianist has been playing on is absolutely perfect for the music and the sound they've made, and there's other times when you think it's not. So I suspect, you know, it's very hard for a pianist to make a bad piano sound good, but I think, you know, a good pianist can make a good piano sound really special.
Yeah, of course, it's much easier to play on a beautiful big Steinway, well regulated, in perfect condition. But our duty is to try to find the best. It's to meet a piano. It's like to meet a person. And we have to understand little by little. It's impossible to have immediately this feeling like I know this piano very well.
Adolfo, you're being very, very un-Italian. You say when you meet a beautiful woman, you need to meet her.
Yes, but actually it's the same. I wouldn't like to know everything about her in one evening.
That's right. Okay, well, on that somewhat exalted note, in just a minute we'll have the second movement of the second Chopin Piano Concerto played by Alfred Cortot.
This is Meridian FM.
Meridian FM, sponsored by Mid Sussex Timber.
That was the slow movement of Chopin's second piano concerto, played by Alfred Cortot with the Swiss Remote Orchestra, and we don't quite know who the conductor was. It is interesting because I remember seeing a program on Alfred Brendel, and Cortot was a pianist who influenced him greatly, and he played, I think it was one of the preludes. It was absolutely sensational. Right, I've got information to give you, so those of you who want it, I'm going to give you 4 pieces of information, 3 of which you may need to write down. Adolfo's website is www.adolfobarabino, all as one word.
No, Adolfo Barabino.
Adolfo hyphen
Yes.
Barabino, apologies. And that's Adolfo, Adolfo hyphen Barabino, BARABINO.com. And his email, if anybody wants to get in touch with him, either to buy any of his Chopin Nocturne CDs, or about the masterclass that's coming up, his email is abarabino35, all as one word. So that's abarabino, BARABINO 35 in numbers, at hotmail.com. And Claudio Records, who are the people who That was Arvo Pärt's Spiegel im Spiegel for violin and piano, played by Tasman Little and Martin Roscoe. Very, very accessible modern music. Adolfo, we're coming to the end of this evening's show, so thank you very much for coming. It's been fascinating.
Well, my pleasure.
Just before we go, before we finish, we're going to talk a little bit about piano competitions, because I gather you're not very impressed with the way they're run nowadays.
Yeah, it's many times I could experience something not right in piano competitions. And when I was preparing piano competition when I was younger, I was told, for example, don't be too expressive, don't be personal, and you don't have actually to give this possibility to some of the jury to judge you. And so it's a sort of making everything flat and perfectly mechanically speaking. And this, of course, I don't like. I don't like because I know that people, audience, want music. And I also notice that nowadays the winner of this competition are very often sold like a product for 1 year, and they don't have the opportunity to have an international career like, for example, in the 70s. Yes, when was completely different world in speaking about competition.
Because I mean, one of the things that we both identified is that we're very hard pushed to remember any of the competition winners in the last 10 or 15 years.
For example, I ask my student, who is the last winner of Geneva competition, who is the last winner of Van Cliburn, even Tchaikovsky, and nobody knew one name. This is really sad. But of course, I don't want to be too hard with this, and for sure there will be some exception. But generally, especially I speak for the students, for younger generation of students, they shouldn't really to organize their life just with the aim to win one of these competitions, because unfortunately nowadays is not the guarantee for the future anymore.
Adolfo, that's been fantastic. Thank you. This is 107 Meridian FM, your radio, your station, broadcasting to East Grinstead and the surrounding villages. Thank you very much for listening to this Classical Meridian with me, St. John Brown, and my guest, Adolfo Barabino. So we will leave you now with one of the great previous competition winners, Radu Lupu, playing the start of Brahms's third sonata, his one in F minor. You'll only get a couple of minutes of it, but it's certainly worth listening. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be back in 2 weeks' time, and I look forward to being with you then.